do. Once again, please put your hands together for Netball Birdo. Gracing us again here today. And she'll be hoping for a Thunderbirds win as well.
Shocked, probably. We were just staring at each other, and on the drive home was quite a wild car ride, and happy, shocked, terrified, all those emotions. But we're absolutely thrilled, and to know that we're having one of each, and we're having twins, we're absolutely blessed. So really excited. Yes, they're in my side of the family. So yeah, well, I've actually my entire life I've said I love to have twins, and now be careful what you wish for because you may actually get it. But yeah, no, they're in my family, and studying twins going around, so lots of people who ask them about. Yeah, I'm hoping I'm getting send that signal around that time. I'm not going to be flying, I'm not allowed to travel after that, so we might get mum over this way and spend some time with sister, who's over here. But yeah, pretty special day. It'll be the last one that I guess got in mum. So yeah.
It's round 6 of the ANZ Championships and the Adelaide Thunderbirds are still searching for that first win. Sensing the challenge ahead, they called on an Australian basketball star this week to prepare for prolific shooter Janelle Fowler-Reid. She's led the Southern Steel on an unbeaten run that has announced them as the front-runners of the New Zealand Conference. But can they secure their first win on Australian soil? Hello and welcome to Priceline Stadium. It's round 6, the Adelaide Thunderbirds taking on the Southern Steel. I'm Sarah Allen. Joining me in commentary today is former West Coast Fever coach Sue Gordian. Sue, it's Mother's Day. I trust you have a bunch of flowers for your old mother.
Well, I may not have remembered to send one, but there was one that I made just a little bit earlier. So, Beverly, if you're sitting at home watching, which you should be because I'm your daughter and that's the best thing you should do, happy Mother's Day to you. Your mother, Wendy, what's she up to?
I don't know, but I did a much better job than that.
I thought that was pretty impressive. I came in early just for that. Anyhow.
Let's have a look at the round 6 matches. We're halfway through the round. Queensland Firebirds, an easy win over the Northern Mystics, but the big talking points come out of that was Gretel Tippett and her injury to the ankle, so we'll follow how she goes with that. New South Wales Swifts easily beat the Central Pulse 79-41 earlier today, and then we go over to New Zealand tomorrow where the Tactics host the Vixens and the Magic host the West Coast Fever. And the conference standings, it's starting to take shape, Sue.
Oh, absolutely. Good news for the Firebirds. They sit on top after their win yesterday. The Swifts having a nice win just prior to this game. I think most eyes are on the West Coast Fever and the Melbourne Vixens and whether those placings will change at the end of round 6. And as for the Southern Steel, well, they are loving their position at the moment. Clear leaders of this table. And a big note, well done to the Mainland Tactics. They've had a tough run in this ANZ Championship season, and Sue Hawkins in her second year as coach really starting to work their magic. Good to see them at the right end of the ladder for once.
But it's all about the Thunderbirds and the Southern Steel today. As we said in the opener, the Thunderbirds called in Joe Ingles, the NBA star, 203 centimetres to emulate Janelle Fowler-Reid. What do you think of that tactic?
Oh, well, I guess if you've got someone like Joe Ingles, you might like to use him, but I think there's plenty more at stake for the Thunderbirds than just Janelle Fowler-Reid. So Pullman will get that job today, and Kate Shipman, who's I think's been having quite a good season in a goal defence. This mid-court's the one for me that really needs to stand up. Good to see Ko Watts getting the nod at wing attack. Maddie Proud, vast improving in season 2016 in the international. Jade Clark at wing defence. Well, these two names, they have been at the forefront for the Thunderbirds for some years. Borrego and Bell just starting to hit her straps. It was good last week and will need to be even better again today. And as for the bench, well, you will notice the one change and the name Emily Burgess comes in. Of course, again, Hannah Petty, she's out concussion during the week, and the Thunderbirds' issues continue. So wouldn't be surprised to see a couple of those names enter the game at some stage.
Well, Michelle Dendecker in her first year as coach yet to get a win. It's the first time the Adelaide Thunderbirds have ever gone through the opening 5 rounds without a win. Is she stressed about it? Katie Price caught up with her a little earlier to ask her.
Well, Michelle, we've got to round 6, of course, without a win. It is such a proud franchise. Are you starting to feel the pressure build?
Oh, look, there's always pressure in the ANZ world, and of course we would have loved a win last week against Mystics, but being home here, it's like our cauldron, and we welcome people to come here and play against us because it's always hard for them getting a win in Adelaide, but we're confident today with Southern Steel.
And you've had Joe Ingles training again, working with your defenders. Specifically, can you tell us where he's been able to help?
Yeah, I mean, he replicates the height that a Romelda and both a Fowler-Reid have. So being able to position on that tall shooter is really critical in this environment. And also just aids to them in their positioning and trying to force her away from the post. So that's what we're hoping to do a bit more of today.
Good luck today.
Thank you.
Well, Michelle has stuck with Maddie Proud in centre in the last few weeks. She had an even different start to the year, but she's really started to hit her straps. How have you seen her form today?
Well, I think it's great news for Maddie Proud. This young kid's been around for a while. 37 ANZ games, but she really hasn't been a starting 7 for this outfit in pink, and in 2016 Dendecker's given her that. As expected, she's going to grow through that and really is starting to stand up as the key centre for this side. A big shooter following Natalie Von Berto, so some work to do. Look, her feed's getting better as she goes. Turnover to me probably the one. She's had 16 to her name, and she probably just needs to tidy her game up a little bit there.
Well, we sent Katie Price courtside to catch up with Maddie Proud a little earlier.
Well, Maddie, you came close against the Mystics last week. Tell us, what is the mood like within the group? Are you far away from putting it all together?
Yeah, I think obviously last week's performance was a big step up for us. We've seemed to improve each week, so hopefully today's the day that we can string a full 60 minutes performance together. And yeah, the mood is really positive and everyone's really pumped for today.
What about your own form personally? Because you've been able to build throughout the rounds. How have you assessed your season today?
Oh, I guess it's hard when you're not winning games. I mean, that's what we want to be doing, but I think it's just about being consistent and obviously happy to be getting some court time, but yeah, just really need to put it together today.
Well, best of luck today.
Thanks very much.
Well, the Southern Steel have found that consistency. They're the team to beat in the New Zealand Conference. They got their first Aussie scalp last week, beating the West Coast Fever. How have you seen them today, Sue?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they are a vastly improved side under their new coach, Nolene Tarua. And this back end here, goalkeeper, goal defence, Purvis and Watson, many said would be the weakness in this side, but for me, they are really starting to form great strength. Love the way they can turn some ball over. We'll need to do that today. The mid-court, well, this has grown over the weeks, of course. You've got Crampton in at wing attack, Francois at centre, and the old Capitano, Wendy Frew, in at wing defence. And then you go to the front end, and it's the big name in Janelle Fowler-Reid that everyone wants to talk about. I'm interested today. They've started with Brooke Lever out the front. We're used to seeing possibly a Selby Rickett. She did come off last week with a bit of a calf injury, but we believe she'll be okay. So when you look at the bench, you'll see two Selby Ricketts there. They are sisters and most likely to enter the game at some stage today.
Well, Nolene Tarua is their coach. First year in the seat as Steel coach, and a lot being spoken about her driving that cultural change at training for the Southern Steel. And she has a pretty handy goal shooter up front that she can depend on, Janelle Fowler-Reid. She scored 77% of the Steel's goals so far. She's had a huge impact.
Oh, she has, absolutely. And the one player that has to do the work in feeding her the ball is Gina Crampton. So they're a really dynamic duo. And you wonder how much Nolene Tarua, when she was offered the job, thought, well, if I've got a young wing attack and a nice big Jamaican to work with, what we're capable of doing. So Crampton will have a big job on her hands today. I still would love to see her work hard to penetrate the circle edge. And I think if she can grow in that area of a game, she'll be vastly, vastly improved.
And we spoke about Janelle Fowler-Reid's impact. She's really growing in that goal shooter position.
Yeah, coming in 89% accuracy, but the problem, some people will say, well, at that height she should be in about the 90s, but look at that, she can rebound just about anything. The two Jamaicans in this league, in Romelda Aiken and Fowler-Reid, really offer their sides the ability to convert goal the second the ball goes into the circle, and you know, that's a pretty impressive stat. So for a side like Thunderbirds today, it's not just about stopping Fowler-Reid, it's about creating turnover ball defensively and then making them hurt on every opportunity that comes their way.
Well, Fowler-Reid and Crampton are really proving that dynamic duo. Katie Price caught up with Crampton a little earlier.
Well, Gina, in your role personally as a feeder, how much of a luxury is it every week to be able to play knowing that you've got two giants really effectively playing in front of you?
Yeah, it's awesome having Janelle and Tapara in there. Yeah, I mean, they offer great space and something a bit different, but it's nice that we can also have that circle movement as well. So I think we're gelling quite nicely at the moment.
And as a team, of course, unbeaten this season, but as you'd be well aware, the one question mark is whether you can win over here across the Tasman. What have you done differently at training this week to prepare for that Aussie style?
Nothing different this week. We've been training really hard as per usual. It is a big test for us to win over here in Australia. Usually we have a nice home crowd and they really get behind us. So yeah, it will be a big day for us today, and hopefully if we just work together for that full 60 minutes, we should be okay.
Thanks so much for your time.
No worries. Thank you.
Gina Crampton there talking about that test of winning on Australian soil. How important is it for them today to get that win on Aussie soil to prove they're the real deal?
Yeah, look, it's very important. And the fact that they're talking about it, they know how important it is. Hopefully they just go about their business still. I think a win today here in Australia would mean a huge amount, not just for the Steel, but for the competition. In saying that, Sarah, it won't be easy. I think the Thunderbirds are really confident of a win. They know that there'll be work to do. They were ever so close against the Mystics last week. I think if they can put together a few more minutes in their game, they'll go very close. But Steel will come across confident, thinking they can win. My gut says they will get across the line today.
There you go. Well, can the Adelaide Thunderbirds secure their first win of the 2016 season, or will the Southern Steel continue their unbeaten run? We'll be back after the break. Round 6 action at Priceline Stadium, and it's the Adelaide Thunderbirds hosting the Southern Steel. Sarah Allen in commentary, and alongside me is Sue Gordian. So you get the sense today that there's a big opportunity ahead for both these teams. The Adelaide Thunderbirds can get their first win, or the Steel can prove that they can win not only on New Zealand soil but on Australian soil.
Yeah, you're right. So the negative of that is Thunderbirds lose and they haven't won a game all season. The Steel lose and it continues that they can't win in Australia. So so much at stake for these sides, and to be honest with you, I feel there's more at stake for the Steel. I think the Thunderbirds, whether we like it or not, are allowed a few excuses. I'm the last person to give any team an excuse, but they are entitled to a few excuses. The Steel are in form. I think they've got a great game plan in place now under their coach, Tarua. And all going to plan, as I said, they will get across the line today.
Well, we're just minutes away from the first centre pass. Katie Price is joining us on the sideline today. Katie, over to you.
Thanks so much, Sarah. Well, as you say, these two teams on paper couldn't be further apart, but chatting to the Thunderbirds group pre-match, there is a real genuine air of confidence about them. You can see that there's a real sense that they have an opportunity here today. For the Steel, their coach, Nolene Taurua, has been very strong on creating a winning culture. It's not about the individual, it's very much a team-first approach. She's brought a hard-nosed edge to this group and a real ruthlessness about their game, and we've seen that in the season to date so far, but it'll be put to the test and under the spotlight here on Australian soil, but very much for them an opportunity to make a statement on behalf of New Zealand netball. Sarah?
Thanks so much, Katie. And we see the Adelaide Thunderbirds there in a tight huddle. Sue, they haven't won a first quarter for the entire season. They had a long chat to each other then. What do you think they're saying to each other to get themselves up?
I think they'd be talking about the fact that this, as you heard their coach say, this is the cauldron for the Thunderbirds. It's not easy to win here. They're a very proud club, great tradition, irrespective of not winning a game. This place is absolutely chock-a-block. So the Adelaide fans haven't jumped ship, which is great. And I also think today, I really like this lineup for the Thunderbirds. I think they've got their best 7 on. I'm pleased to see Kaya Watts in at wing attack. She had the best the best season last year in 2015 with the Fever, and I'd like to see her give them that opportunity to continue that form.
Big matchup today is going to be Sam Pullman on Janelle Fowler-Reid. What would we be asking of Sam Pullman today?
Well, I think part of it's sitting off the body. Look, the thing with Pullman is her strength isn't necessarily a vertical jump, but she really needs to give herself some room off the body, confuse the space so that the feeders don't have a pinpoint accurate target. But in saying that, Fowler-Reid can make a bad pass look good, so Pullman will be up against it today.
And Brooke Lever getting the start at goal attack. A bit of a shock. Selby Rickett's been playing there the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, look, it's an interesting one. I guess the good news for Taurua is she's got 2 different styles of play to go with. I wonder whether they think that they can start well and maybe need something a little bit different as the game goes on, and that's what Selby Rickett will bring at goal attack. But we'll see how Brooke Lever goes. For me, at times she can be a little bit erratic and probably just needs to steady the ship early.
Carla Borrego, of course, coming back into the Adelaide Thunderbirds lineup. She spent round 4 on the sidelines with injury. How important is she today?
Yeah, very important. I think every one of their plays is very important. I don't think anyone can go amiss today for either side. I think it's absolutely critical that everyone puts their best foot forward, and you get the feeling that they both understand that. As I said, we keep talking about how much is at stake for every team in this competition. Today is a very, very big game in the scale of things for both of these sides.
Well, it's round 6. Adelaide Thunderbirds taking on the Southern Steel as the Steel get announced onto court.
At centre, Shannon Francois. At wing defence, Wendy Frew. At goal defence, Dawn Purvis. At goalkeeper, Jane Watson. And substitutes, Addie Earl, Jamie Hume, Stacey Phoenix, Tamunia Rickett, Selby Rickett, to Prior Selby Rickett. Please also welcome the coach of the Ascot Park, coach of Southern Steel, Nolan Tura, OAN. And ladies and gentlemen, the time we have been waiting for, taking the court of the mighty Adelaide Thunderbirds, that goal shooter, Carla Moreno! And goal attack, Erin Hill! And wing attack, Kato Ross! And centre, Mandy Brown! And goal defence, Janine Clark! And goal defence, Kate Shimon! And goalkeeper, Samantha Pullman! Our substitutes are Emily Dixon, Christina Price, Emily Burgess, Sarah Clark.
There they are, the two sides to take on this round 6 match. The Adelaide Thunderbirds, what can they produce today? Can they get their first win for the 2016 season under Michelle Dendecker, as we see her on screen there? How would she be feeling at the moment, Sue Gordian?
I would imagine quite excited. I think she senses this is an opportunity. I wouldn't want to be her at the end of the game if that opportunity goes astray. That'll be tough.
Well, a nice crowd in here at Priceline Stadium. The Adelaide crowd love the netball. They love their Thunderbirds. As we get underway, Shannon Francois from the Southern Steel to have the first centre pass. Brooke Lever in the action early. Crampton, nothing to go to. Through, they make it all the way back into the defensive end. And they start to progress forward. Francois back to Crampton. Straight away she finds Fowler Reid. Brooke Lever turns and delivers.
Yeah, nice start by Lever, exactly what she needs. A little bit of confidence early. Good defensive pressure off the Thunderbirds, but they're still very patient in their approach.
Beautiful tip there from Crampton, and the Steel get a chance to make it 2 goals. Through. Crampton, nice little lob into Fowler Reid. Doesn't want to shoot it from there.
Yeah, interesting to note. So Pullman doing a good job early, just trying to keep her away from that circle edge. Fowler Reid won't take anything then except underneath the post like that.
Beautiful take. Easy from there. The Steel out to a 2-goal lead, nice and early here.
Yeah, can we have this cleaned up?
As we just wipe the court down. What do the Adelaide Thunderbirds need to do here? They've had slow starts to the season.
Just trying to work out what that is actually on the ground. It looks like it's come off the bib.
Francois gets us underway again. Nice tip from Proud. But the Steel will keep possession. Lever. Little bounce pass into Fowler Reid. You wouldn't think that'd be the best avenue to the tall shooter.
Oh, I don't know how often they would have practiced that.
They maintain possession. Crampton on the circle edge. Little lob into Fowler Reid. That reach over Pullman.
And you can just see there, just sitting right on the body, Shimon. I mean, that will eventually go against her, except that certainly won't. Well, Kate Shimon, God, she's known for that. The rejection, the timing that is required to be able to reject any shot is quite exceptional, and she's the master.
We see her 2 or 3 times a game she gets her hand to one of those balls. It's quite incredible. Well, the Steel landing all the punches early here.
Just timing on that highlights package for any young defender. Watch that one closely.
Thunderbirds need to respond. Watts. Borrego out of the circle. Matches up on Watson today, who's had a great season to date. Bell puts it through for the Thunderbirds. They're on the board. Through. Lever, great take on the sideline. Again, they go backwards to go forwards here. Francois to Lever. Nice little low. Oh, too much on it. And the Thunderbirds have an opportunity to claw it back here.
Court centre, just here. Centre.
And just interesting to watch the sort of defensive style that the Steel set up here at the moment. Their circle defenders are pretty much playing the one-on-one.
Borrego, nice little give and go with Watts. She puts it through. And we're back within 1 goal. Proud, strong take. Bell.
Contact, wing defence. With the wing defence. Yes. Contact, goalkeeper, hit.
Yeah, so Watson there and Purvis both being called for a couple of early contacts. Oh, great strong rebound, excellent elevation coming from Jane Watson. I'm going to just watch that because I reckon that they've been good contests early and they've been pulled, the 2 Steel defenders, so may just be a different interpretation at ends of the court. Have a look at that rebound, just the elevation, unreal.
She brings the ball back into play for the Steel. Francois, she's been amongst it a lot early. Purvis. Through.
Just really patient, the Steel at the moment. They know that, oh, look at that. That's a great feed from Francois.
Just thread the needle. And Lever looking so confident on the shot early.
Yeah, what I'm liking from the Steel, the approach to the circle may not necessarily be direct, but they don't look like they're at all phased. You can just see that eventually opened up for Lever, and it was just pinpoint accuracy from the midcourt.
And Lever's prepared to do the work outside of the circle, which is opening her up to take that lead in.
Oh, absolutely. And that, obviously the plan of Nolene Tarua. Kate Shimon just being drawn on Lever. You can't afford to leave her alone, but at the moment you can see there the Thunderbirds doubling back.
Subtraction wing defender.
Crampton on the circle edge. Lever just backs back into the space, steps it back. Again! Shimon, outstanding.
Well, you know, the sad part about it is that it's the Steel that keep coming up with the ball off her rejections, and those gains, those 1%ers are critical, and the Thunderbirds need to be all over that, expecting Kate Shimon to do exactly this. Look at the timing, rejection of the ball, clear in the air, and who's the first to it? A Steel player.
Even if they don't come up with the gain, it puts that doubt in Lever's mind when she goes to shoot the next time.
Well, let's have a look when she shoots the next time, if there is any of that, or she goes to offload to Fowler-Reid. That'll be interesting.
Meanwhile, Borrego down the other end. She doesn't flinch. Francois. Not much to go to. Shimon gets pulled for the contact outside the circle. Too easy into Fowler-Reid. She won't miss from here. Thunderbirds need to use this centre pass. Ko Watts just barges her way through the 2 defenders.
Well, Erin Bell just hesitating to give twice now that feed to, that pass off to Ko Watts, and opting instead to try and connect directly with Borrego. They really need that wing attack in the game. I'd love to see Bell just confident to release.
Borrego with the miss there, and Steel will get a chance to take it down and score. Crampton, beautiful lead up the middle of the court. Just opens it right up, and Francois now in the pocket.
Oh, great drive again, cut and drive. Lever just took that ball at the second transverse line. 2 seconds later, she's down at the top of the circle. Impressive stuff coming from the Steel wing attack.
Well, there's a lot to like about the Steel as a whole in this opening 7 minutes of this round 6 clash at Priceline Stadium, and they have possession again. Straight into Fowler-Reid. No hesitation, and she rewards the pass.
Well, that's just how quickly this Steel side can score. And already 5 goals the difference.
We said from the start the Thunderbirds haven't won a first quarter. What do they have to do now to get back in this game?
Oh, I just think it's a confidence in releasing the ball. You can just see that they're not released. There's the first ball released, and of course it's not executed, but you've got to pay tribute there to Jay Clark. She knows that they need to get some momentum on the ball moving. Confidence is an amazing thing in this game, and once it starts, momentum can swing their way.
Well, Jane Watson again with a chance for the Steel to score from a turnover. Lever. Stagnant in the front line, but the ball straight into Fowler-Reid, opens it right up. She misses, but she gets the rebound.
That's exactly what happens with a side like the Steel or like the Firebirds that we saw yesterday. You miss, it doesn't really matter. They can afford to be shooting at the 80%, 75%, because at the end of the day, they can rebound the ball.
Well, Kate Shimon, you need your shoe in netball. She puts the ASIC back on.
You know what's been impressive at the moment? Just this front line for the Steel, the way they're using the width of the court, really just opening up space. Some beautiful cut and drives coming from Crampton and Brooke Lever. And, of course, then the option opens up for Fowler Reid.
She's already got 7 on the board, Fowler Reid. 7 from 8. So damaging. Can she make it 8 from 9? She can.
What? Yeah, this is the area now. Just, that's a better connection to Proud.
Great take there from Borrego. She steadies. She puts it through. That's better from Carla Borrego.
Contact all attack.
The Steel, chance to push it out to a 7-goal lead. Francois, nice take in the pocket. Lever, nice drive on the baseline. Doesn't want to shoot from there, although she's shot so confidently so far this match. Fowler Reid finishes it off.
You know, interesting, we mentioned earlier that the Steel just look patient. They're prepared to work the ball around, and that's indicative at the moment. 66% of the time they've held possession to the Thunderbirds 34. It doesn't necessarily mean that will win you a game, but if you're poised and patient and you can execute a pass and you're in control, good news.
Borrego puts another one on the board for the Adelaide Thunderbirds. And the Steel again, finding space in that pocket for their mid-quarters. But they cough it up. Chance for the Adelaide Thunderbirds to just claw one back here.
And again, just hesitating to give up that first ball. Really just gives the Steel another look at it defensively. So the timing a little bit out. Maybe the Thunderbirds needing to do a little bit more work off the ball.
Watts to Proud on top of the circle. Finds Borrego on the baseline. Doesn't want to shoot. Bell under all sorts of pressure from Purvis there. It just rolls out. She's only got 1 for the game so far. We're 10 minutes into this first quarter.
Yeah, and I think that's where Erin Bell really needs to get in and do the work around the circle and just leave the space there for Proud and Kale Watts to craft their work. Sometimes when the goal attack spends too much time out, it really is inhibiting for the midcourt.
Steel just patiently working the ball through their defensive end here. Erin Bell steps out of play. Storm Purvis. Oh, nice tip from Watts there. Erin Bell first with the tip and then Kale Watts. That's a defensive pressure you want to see from your attackers.
Yeah, and they need to build. And as we mentioned before, there's been a few opportunities. It's just that the Steel keep coming up with the crumbs. So whether you want to call that luck, fate, momentum, at the end of the day, the Thunderbirds need to try and change something to turn it in their favour.
Well, Janelle Fowler Reid makes it 10 from 11. She's had a big impact in this first quarter.
And again, you can just see Bell outside the circle. Eventually she gets herself in there. That's where she needs to do more of her work.
Borrego. Nice work, nice connection with Maddie Proud there. Michelle Dendecker spoke during the week of how good it is to have Borrego back in training so she can work on those connections with Kaya Watts and Maddie Proud.
Yeah, absolutely. Although, you know, for Kaya Watts, she's only spent a short time feeding Borrego. Maddie Proud would have had quite some time. But again, it's a confidence that grows on court. And I'll keep saying at the moment, the Thunderbirds just not releasing the ball with confidence.
What can the Thunderbirds do here?
That's better. Yeah, that's much better.
Borrego finishes off their good work. They're back within 6 with 3 minutes to play here at Priceline Stadium. Round 6 of the ANZ Championship, and they get a turnover.
Yeah, so a chance here for just a bit of a momentum swing. Convert this and it's their centre pass. Just see how the Steel respond.
They haven't got much to go to.
Yeah, interesting there. You can just see the Storm Purvis just questioning. She's not actually sure what she's doing to cause the contact. May even see some discussion at quarter time with the umpires about that.
Bell, nice little rebound under the hoop. She misses from there.
1 from 3.
3 misses in a row from underneath the post. You just can't afford to do that if you're the Adelaide Thunderbirds.
No, and at the same time, the Steel need to make the most of those opportunities and pull in a good rebound. And, you know, as I said, this is a momentum shift now for the Thunderbirds. Pop this in and it's their centre park. Or the Steel could stop that.
No. Much better from Erin Bell, and the crowd let her know. Oh, beautiful pass onto the top of the circle. That's what you've been talking about, Sue.
Well, it doesn't get any better than that. Ball placement, brilliant. Speed from movement from Watts, fantastic. And where did she end up? Top of the circle. No better place to be.
Well, the gap is back within 4. Steele at one stage out to 7. Lever just a little bit of a fumble. And the momentum is all Adelaide's way at the moment. Clark finds Proud. Borrego on the baseline. To bring it back within 3. Good stuff here by the Adelaide Thunderbirds. Under a minute left to play in this first term, and Borrego's by herself. A funny thing in sport. We've just watched 1.5 minutes of it go completely the way of the Thunderbirds, and now you just want to see how the Steel respond. No better way to do it than just make it easy with Fowler Reid at the post. The Thunderbirds, one last centre pass you'd think for them. Proud, little lob over to Borrego, strong take. She puts it through. As the whistle's blown on the first quarter here at Priceline Stadium. Proud not happy. A little bit of biffo. Just 2 goals in it. Adelaide Thunderbirds hosting the Southern Steel. Will be back right after the break for the second quarter.
We're in the right place, but we're just putting our body. If we get our whole bodies over it to cover that gap, we'll get those scores. But at the moment here, yeah? So we've got to get our whole body over. A little bit quicker. Yeah, a little bit quicker, get over it straight away. I also think on the second phase. Second phase. Run it. Because whoever's going to come up to here, it's got to be the other one who's just, you just run and you run hard at it.
If you're doing nothing, go to the other one. Or if it's like also, with Borrego, you're always going to have one there. She's always, if the ball's here, bar. She's always, and especially when she's on the base, she's going to go away and come back. You contest that one on the base, yeah? Don't worry about this one that's going over. We go hard for that one on the base. Doing an awesome job. Also, really disciplined on that 3 foot. Don't worry about it. Really, it's no second shot. We go in hard for the rebound. What we practice. You're doing some good job in there. On the through court, don't come back too deep on the through court. I think just wait, and then go, because at the moment, say the ball's here, you're coming back for a screen, which I know what you're trying to do, otherwise you've got to go higher, so there's actually a connection here. You know what I mean? Because at the moment you're coming back and it's too much distance.
Rows P and W. P and W. At the back. Give it to one of those girls in the red outfits there. They don't play around with these things too much. Right, P and W. What I want you to do.
Also, with Borrego, you're always going to have one there. She's always, if the ball's here, bar. She's always, and especially when she's on the base, she's going to go away and come back. You contest that one on the base, yeah? Don't worry about this one that's going over. We go hard for that one on the base. Doing an awesome job. Also, really disciplined on that 3 foot. Don't worry about it. Really, it's No second shot, we go in hard for the rebound. What we practice, you're doing some good jobs in there.
The passionate Nolene Tarua there, the Southern Steel coach, and why wouldn't you be passionate? There's just 2 goals in it in this round 6 clash at Priceline Stadium. Sue Gordian joins me in commentary. Just gave you a new name.
I know, thanks for that.
What do you make of the stats?
Yeah, well, straight away, that shooting percentage for the Thunderbirds well below anything they would expect. And we kept saying, you know, you can't miss 3 or 4 shots underneath the ring. So if that can improve, that puts them in a very good place. No doubt that would have been spoken about. Well, not necessarily spoken about directly, but the goalers would know very well. And take a look at this. This just amazed me. And I guess it just goes to show you how much temperament's in this game. Wendy Frew and Erin Bell just having a bit of biffo there at the end. So much at stake in this game, Sarah.
You want to see that from the Thunderbirds. Their season's on the line.
Yeah, absolutely. And they still know how important this game is. So both, as we've mentioned, so much to play for. Oh, great ball to Lever. Well, Wendy Frew just answered her critics, didn't she? How good.
They can't finish off their good work, though, and the Adelaide Thunderbirds take it. Fowler Reid. Beautiful defensive pressure there from the Jamaican shooter. The Thunderbirds stay in possession. Proud, beautiful cut into the pocket. And Borrego puts them on the board early in this second quarter. They're back within 1. The lead for the Steel was out by 7 at one stage in that first term. They've done well to bring it back to just 1 goal. Can they draw up the score here? Bell. Beautiful shot.
Yeah, and almost a real confidence in that shot. So just steadying through this first quarter, Erin Bell, I reckon there's a lot of growth to come from her, and that's good news from the Thunderbirds.
Brooke Lever, the little lob into Fowler Reid, and she finishes off the good work. So easy to score down this end. Bell, not much to go to. The little lob pass over to Proud, and they're lucky to keep possession. Watts opens up on the other side of the court. Bell, she shot one here just seconds ago. She makes it 4 from 7. Erin Bell shot just 2 in that first quarter, already matched that in this second quarter. Good signs for the Thunderbirds. Pullman, she went hunting. Brooke Lever.
Well, I wasn't even interested in looking at the post, Brooke Lever, but she passed off to Janelle Fowler Reid, and she's put her in a mid-range shot, which Reid just does not like. Doesn't matter. We say it again, she can rebound it and do that.
Well, she's ranked 2nd in the league for offensive rebounds, only behind Romelda Aiken.
Who else?
Defenders must just be banging their head against the wall. Speaking of defenders, Katie Price is down there with the Adelaide, listening to the Adelaide Thunderbirds huddle at quarter time. Katie, what did Michelle Dendek have to say?
Yeah, certainly she was very happy with the team's response late in that first quarter. The one thing she was a bit concerned about was that they looked rather anxious and to hold their time in a bit more, which is what you identified in that first quarter. But she certainly reiterated as well that need to maintain that one-on-one pressure. She believes that is putting the Steel under pressure.
Beautiful take from Crampton. Crampton maybe not as prolific early in this match as she's been in previous weeks.
Yeah, look, I think her work rates there just probably needs to fix a couple of her angles and drives. But I do think that connection between Francois and Crampton's working quite well. Brooke Lever, for me, is probably the question mark at the moment. I think she's doing work, whether it's effective work's the question. Pullman, again, doing a really good job in keeping Fowler Reid away from her shooting range. And I guess that's a victory. You know, at the end of the day, that there is impossible to stop. But if you can force her to take a shot outside her range, that's half the battle.
The Thunderbirds back in possession. Just 1 goal in it here. Round 6 at Priceline Stadium.
Wing defender contact.
They're searching for their first win of the 2016 season. Watts. Bell, not much to go to. Has to go back to the transverse line.
Yeah, Maddie Proud there probably just needs to steady herself on the circle edge. Just overcrowding that area. You can see Bell frustrated, not really wanting to release to a mid-quarter.
Carla Borrego notches her 12th goal for the match. She's been impressive early. As Frew takes it on the transverse line. Francois. They just work it around the circle edge. So patient all match this front end. And the little lob into Fowler Reid. She delivers.
Advantage hold, goal attack, advantage obstruction.
Watts finds Borrego, doesn't want to shoot it.
Wing defender.
They just work it around. Oh, nice tip there from the Steel defenders. They come away with the ball.
There's only the one goal in it, but you get the feeling this is quite an important turnover for the Steel. I think they just need to steady. They started this game showing that they were really controlling the ball and momentum, and you feel like maybe that's been taken away a little bit from them. So a goal here, just patiently working their way through, pretty important. Looks like it's going to happen.
Sam Pullman did everything right then. Just needs to grow a few centimetres. Southern Steel back in possession. Can they extend the lead out to 3 here? As we see on the screen, the turnovers. Thunderbirds 7 to the Steel 6. Fowler Reid again with the offensive rebound.
Yeah, so that's a nice little moment there for the Steel, just steadying themselves down, and it's also just put a little lead on the scoreboard for them. And now it's the Thunderbirds' job to respond. That's a great read and connection between Proud and Borrego.
Borrego's on the move a little bit more in this match.
Absolutely, yeah, noted that. And you also heard Nolene Tarua as we came out of the break, and she was addressing her defensive group, just saying that Borrego is doing the move and she's wanting to double back to the post, so to try and stop that along the baseline.
The Steel extremely lucky to remain possession here. Francois just threw that up in the air with hope. You can do that when Janelle Fowler Reid's in the circle.
Yeah, what a luxury.
And Lever's not short either. Selby Rickett is the backup goal attack.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, Lever looks short out there, but Selby Rickett comes on and she's another 10 centimetres or something or 8 centimetres on Lever. So they've certainly got some height to go to if they need in this second half.
What?
Contact, goal attack.
Oh. They lose possession here.
Yeah, it was good defensive pressure there from the Steel, just starting to work a bit more, I think. Just reacting now a bit more to the Thunderbirds' workload. Definitely Bell's increased their workload, and I think the Steel defenders have now responded.
Nice pass into Fowler Reid. Just bobbles out.
Well, it was a volleyball tap from Pullman. And, you know, you've got to give her credit because she went up hard, but you can get one hand to it, you can get two. Got to pull them in when they come your way.
Nolene Tarua is the Steel coach, and she's courtside with Katie Price.
Thanks so much, Sarah. Nolene, it was a brilliant start. They managed to come back at you, though. Where did it fall down in the back half of that first quarter?
Oh, I think it was just the Thunderbirds and the pressure that they put on us, and, you know, they were able to execute and put the ball through the hoop. So, you know, it's always going to be a huge tussle for both teams, and I think it's just going to go down to the wire as to who can, I suppose, absorb that pressure.
You had great composure and real patience moving the ball in that first quarter. Did that drop away a bit?
I don't think so. Once again, I think, you know, Thunderbirds need this win, and they're sleeping giants, I believe. So we've got to be really smart in what we do and keep attacking and just keep possession of the ball. And when we do that well.
Can you talk us through the decision to play Brooke Lever, to start her as opposed to Selby Rickett?
Yeah, unfortunately, Tapaya's had a foot that's infected, and flying actually blew it up, so we just needed a couple of more days to be able to settle. We're quite lucky that we've done the miraculous work over the last 24, 48 hours to actually get it down in no pain, so she's available.
Okay, great. Thanks, Nolene.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it. Big news out of the Steel camp. The last couple of weeks, Selby Rickett has really locked down that goal attack position. But Brooke Lever's not a bad substitution.
Oh, no, not at all. And I guess the good news for Steel fans is to hear that actually Tarua can exercise the right to bring Selby Rickett on at some stage, but you know, it just goes to show you, you know, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, and Ashley Brazel's another example who we'll see take the court for the Fever on Monday night, but she also has had the injury concern with the knee, and that's been flaring up after long travel, so the physio is having to work overtime just to get these players up and right.
The Thunderbirds on the circle edge. Borrego, great take under pressure. She can't finish it off.
Yeah, great rebound. That's a really strong, solid rebound there coming from Jane Watson. She's impressed me. I mean, she's such slight in stature, but she's so strong underneath that post.
She's had her best year to date. How much has Nolene Tarua had to do with the success of this defensive end?
Oh, I think she's had a lot to do, but I also think that both Watson and Purvis are just growing. You know, the more time you get on an ANZ court, just have a look at that. So it's a great, strong take from Borrego. And it was followed by a damn good rebound as well from Watson. I think they've just spent more time on the court, and they're growing and they're maturing and they're experiencing more. They're starting to form a really good combination, and you know, then you get a coach that's supporting that, so it's all working well.
Well, Brooke Lever puts through just her third goal for the half as Jade Clark calls a stoppage. Under the new rule, she must leave the court. Thunderbirds just bring it in together, and a few quiet words between Erin Bell and Carla Borrego. The English international leaves the court, and Emily Burgess comes on in that wing defence position, the replacement player for Hannah Petty.
Yeah, and that was pre-planned, you know, because I saw Burgess go off and start warming up, and I wasn't expecting Clark to call an injury time. So, yeah, definitely just watching to see if Clark's getting any treatment, and I don't believe she is. No treatment. No, Katie Price is giving us a nod. No treatment, so definitely a planned move.
Emily Burgess has come through the South Australian system at the same time as the likes of Maddie Turner, that is playing for the Swiss at the moment, and Hannah Petty. Such a strong age group for the South Australian netball community.
That's a great drive. Too easy there for the steal. And it'd just be interesting now to watch, obviously, the change being made, maybe to close down this front end for the steal, and whether it works or Crampton finds more space, and there it is, more space yet again.
Too easy from the steal. Beautiful pass into Fowler Reid. She notches another, and that's all class. Thunderbirds need to respond here. Erin Bell outside the circle.
Contact centre.
Watts just made to work for every single pass. She hits the circle edge, straight over the top to Borrego. She slots her 15th for the match. And all of a sudden, this lead, the Southern Steel lead, is out to 8.
Yeah, full credit to the Steel. I think they weathered a bit of the storm. You heard their coach, Nolene Tarua, say that, you know, that they're a sleeping giant, the Thunderbirds, and that is a nervous thing to approach. But I reckon full credit to the Steel. I reckon they've really just steadied. But in particular, this front end, particularly through Crampton's, just started to open up, and the feed to Fowler Reid, oh so easy at the moment.
Oh, well done from Kato Watts.
Well, isn't that interesting? Adversely at the other end, even though they're getting the ball through, it's being made exceptionally hard. Ko Watts acrobatics there. So you're just looking at two ends in complete opposite here. Oh, Shimon!
So close. Crampton committed till the end. Oh, that's a disappointing turnover for the Steel. Thunderbirds, quick transition down the court.
Yeah, need to make the Steel pay on that. Must convert.
Proud finds Borrego on the baseline. Both defenders' arms over the shot. She doesn't care.
Have a look at this, the timing. I mean, she really did try hard for that ball. Well done for the Steel just to hold on to that. That was tough business.
Bit of Shani Layton about that one.
Yeah, it was actually.
Borrego doesn't even consider shooting. But Erin Bell will from here. Steadies. Puts it straight through.
So again, Bell just starting to get on the scoreboard a bit more. She's now 7 from 10. They really do need her as far as shooting that low, take a bit of pressure off Borrego.
She's been around that 13, 14, 15 mark for the season.
Yeah.
I think she's halfway there now. Too easy from the Southern Steel. They're up by 7 here as we've got 1 minute to play in this second quarter here in round 6. Borrego just extends the arm out. She can't finish the shot though. Can the Steel make her pay?
Well, the Steel are making her pay, and unfortunately, well, yeah, contact there, but the Steel are making them pay. The reboundings are so critical in this game. Borrego is a very good rebounder, but she is being outdone here by the Steel defence. Their positioning for the ball and their intent to rebound is really, really, really good for them at the moment. Did I say really enough? Because I'm impressed. It was good.
Tell us one more time.
Really good.
Yeah. Crampton. Circle edge, little loop pass over to Fowler Reid. So hard to defend if you're Pullman. Half a minute remaining here. The Steel leading by 8. Can they push it out to 9 at the main break?
Oh, Wendy Frew just controlling the show here through the midcourt. The captain, there's a turnover now.
To maximise this opportunity. Bell finds Borrego.
Oh, they're going to have to be quick.
Disappointing end for the Adelaide Thunderbirds there. It's half time here at Priceline Stadium. The Southern Steel leading the Adelaide Thunderbirds 32 goals to 24. Sue Gordian, what did you make of the first half?
Yeah, interesting. I think Steel certainly came out and showed they had control. We saw that great momentum swing from the Thunderbirds, but full credit to these ladies in blue. I reckon they are in complete control at the moment. Defensively, the effort and pressure coming from Purvis and Jane Watson, big, big tick.
Huge. Katie Price is courtside and she's having a chat to Wendy Frew.
I certainly am. Wendy, you were really able to steady. You must be pretty happy with that performance, particularly through the midcourt.
Yeah, great start, but it's tough out there. We really need to step up for the second half. Thunderbirds are playing some good netball, so we really need to push the second half.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
We've got Erin Bell here with us. Erin, we've seen that you can respond, but they're such a tough team, aren't they?
Oh, definitely, and they can score so quickly, so we can't just respond for a few minutes. We just have to make sure we're consistent.
All right, what do you do in the second half then?
I think we just have to keep playing gutsy, keep giving the ball and being confident in each other, and we'll get there.
All right, thanks so much, Erin. Well, it is the Steel by 8 goals here at Priceline Stadium. We'll be back after the break with plenty more action.
Welcome back to Priceline Stadium, where it's round 6 in the ANZ Championships, and the Southern Steel lead the Adelaide Thunderbirds by 8. Sue Gordian joins me, and Sue, halftime stats there on the screen. What do you make of those?
Well, I think they're interesting. They could have started to favour the Adelaide Thunderbirds. They've improved their shooting percentage. Really, at the moment, the Southern Steel just been impressive across the court. You can see that they've actually had more turnovers down the bottom, but the beauty of that has been that they've been rebounding so well. You can see they're 8 to 3 on the rebound, and that's actually kept them in business. That's been their most effective stat so far in this half, and you get the feeling that if they can continue that in the second half, could be good news.
Now, everyone will focus on Valerie. She's been so prolific, but what's impressed me most is how patient they've been across the whole court today.
You could see that off their very first centre pass. The Adelaide Thunderbirds came out and were unbelievable in their defensive pressure. It did not phase the Steel one bit. I think they had something like 12 or 13 passes before they actually got the ball in, looked composed, and that really worked for them well in that first quarter, leading by 2. The second quarter, though, that Thunderbirds outfit, they came out. I reckon their patterns changed. I think Erin Bell got a little bit more in the action. Proud and Ko Watts became more effective, and Borrego and both Bell started to hit the post more accurately. So that second quarter really started to build, but it didn't last long, and the Steel were all over them like a rash in the second part of the second quarter.
Well, we will talk about Janelle Fowler-Reid.
Why not?
Because she's scored 29 goals already in this first half. How do they stop her?
Oh, you know, it's the same question teams ask week in, week out. How do you stop the tall shooters? For me, it's not so much about you know, the defensive pressure. We say it week in, week out. There has been plenty of opportunities that the Thunderbirds have created or that the Steel have made errors. But if you can't capitalise on that at the other end of the court, if you then continue to make your own errors, you can't hurt your opposition. So, again, the focus continues to go on the big shooters because they put ball through ring. Keep the pressure up, create the turnovers and make them hurt at the other end. Simple.
The game's featured a lot of momentum swings, and we've seen the Thunderbirds mid-court come in and out of the game. When are they at their best?
At their best when Erin Bell gets in the circle and does her work. So as a captain at times I feel like she's probably trying to control this area of the court too much. When she allows Watts and Maddie Proud the space to hit circle edge like on that occasion there, that's when the Thunderbirds are most effective. When Bell comes out and spends too much time outside the circle, that's when they start to hurt. And I think that if they can get their rhythm and pattern right and trust in each other, those spaces, they can really come back into this game. The good news for the Thunderbirds, Sarah, their best performing quarter so far this season is their third quarter, which means they should come out of this halftime huddle on fire.
Well, they won the third quarter against the Mystics last week. Let's see what they can produce after the break. It's a huge match here. Can the Thunderbirds secure their first win for the season, or will the Steel continue their rampaging run? Don't go anywhere. All the second half action after this. Adelaide crowd loving the round 6 action here at Priceline Stadium. The Thunderbirds are down by 8 and they've made a big change. Katie Price has all the news.
Yeah, they certainly have, Sarah. One very surprising one. Their captain, Erin Bell, coming off from goal attack. Steph Puopolo coming on to the court. I did have a quick chat to Michelle Zendeka. She confirmed there is no injury concerns with Erin Bell. It is just a tactical change.
Wow, that's a huge move. What do you make?
Yeah, no, I'm completely shocked, and I don't want to pay any disrespect to Steph Puopolo, who's come on, and a great opportunity for her. And let me tell you, that kid on screen, she's smart and she can craft some work. But I just think it's deflating for the Thunderbirds. I mean, I don't know, tactical. What, you've got an international sitting on the bench and your captain. Anyhow, I'm a commentator. Move on.
Well, Stephanie Puopolo gets her chance. She's a replacement player for the Adelaide Thunderbirds. She spent some time in their camp as well as the Firebirds. She moved to Adelaide early this year to play in their state league, so she gets rewarded here today. Borrego in the thick of the action early.
Oh, good strong rebound though. Well, we might be wrong.
As you say that, her goal just rolls out. But the Thunderbirds get their point on the scoreboard anyway. What can the Steel do here? Brooke Lever got the start ahead of Selby Rickett, who has a foot problem. Fowler Reid just pops out on the baseline. She notches up her 30th goal for the match. Prolific shooter in this league.
Yeah, good space there by Watts, and the first place Puopolo look was straight down the court, so that's a good connection for the Thunderbirds. Bit of confidence early for them.
Crampton. Take it down onto the circle edge. Shimon stands out of play, and they still go to the one-on-one. Fowler Reid just pops it through. Watts straight through the middle of the defenders. Puopolo. Beautiful take from Borrego. Nice quick movement from the Thunderbirds.
And again,
finish it off.
Yeah, that's that rebound I keep talking about. Great work from Watson, enough to get up over Borrego, tip the ball. Purvis picked up. At the moment, that is the winning stat, should I say. They need to keep that up, the Steel. That's going to win them this game.
Down the other end, Fowler Reid doesn't want to shoot from mid-range. Crampton, just a nice little bounce pass back into Brooke Lever.
You've got to pay credit here to Brooke Lever's workload. I reckon that's increased tremendously in the second part of that second quarter. And I think she's come out of this break and she's got a lot of energy about it, keeping Shimon quite active.
She can't put that one through. She's played halves or quarters or just minutes in some games. How important is that fitness base when you're in a tight match like this going into the third, fourth quarters?
Absolutely critical, particularly when you're a shooter and you need to poise and finish off a shot. And at the moment, she's shooting 3 from 8. So definitely that being a downfall of her game. I guess the confidence is at the best times Fowler Reid can rebound it. The Thunderbirds have capitalised on that. Here's their moment to hurt them at the scoreboard and start to chip back.
Speaking of confidence, that'll do wonders to Steph Puopolo. Get the first goal on the board. Just takes the pressure off her. Crampton, beautiful take under pressure. A couple of strong takes from her in this match. Doesn't mind putting her body on the line. Fowler Reid, nice split on the baseline. Just slots it through. Just too easy.
She doesn't look too phased, does she?
We saw Aiken.
Oh, good feed, Borrego. Sorry, Sarah, but that vision from, gee, if Maddie Proud could have the confidence to do that more regularly, that was exceptional. Look at that, straight away, even under the pressure of 2 defenders, and Borrego's got the capacity to take that ball.
Beautiful feed. And that's why you have a tall shooter back there.
Yeah,
feed those long bombs into her when you need to.
Yeah, I reckon Maddie Proud's come out with a newfound confidence in this quarter.
Oh, Puopolo found the space beautifully. She's got her second on the board. Oh, Shimon.
Well, talk about threading the needle. That's two wing attack, or the wing attack and a centre, two mid-quarters, just absolutely having confidence in their shooters.
And that's what the fans want to see. That's a great netball.
Oh, we talk so much about how good the shooters are in this game. You've got to talk this mid-court up. I mean, at the end of the day, it's one thing to look down and see a tall shooter. You've still got to be able to execute the pass under pressure.
What can Crampton do here? We've talked up the mid-quarter. She doesn't let us down.
She had no pressure on her that time. She needed to get that one through.
The steal out by 9.
This is where the Thunderbirds just need to try and create some turnover ball. It has to happen outside the circle. Defensive pressure on the centre pass really needs to pick up. Burgess and Proud and Shimon need to do some work off that centre pass.
Well, the Thunderbirds have actually won 3 of their 5 third quarters. This is their strongest quarter this year. They need to produce that today if they're going to get back into this game.
Well, we keep talking about moments in games, so, you know, the rebounds are far and few to come from, and Pullman's just got herself one. So this is where you've got to pay. You've got to make them pay. This has to go in.
Watts
You're holding her goal defense.
finds herself in the corner.
Goal defense, you're holding, yes. Holding her dress.
Purvis stands out of play for the steal.
That's it.
Puopolo for a third in this quarter, and she puts it through. Lovely shooting from the replacement player.
Yeah, and she looks like she's got a really calmed, composed nature about her, Steph Popolo. What I like here, and you can just see to the right screen, she's opening up the space, probably better than what Bell was doing. You can just see her start off screen at the moment. She was making her way down to the circle, and that's just creating the space here for the Thunderbirds mid-court. There she is again. So, full credit, great feed. Well, good call, Dendeka, hence the reason we sit with a microphone to our mouth.
So she gets paid the big bucks too. Crampton down the other end. Through. A little bit stagnant in the forward line here. They go back to Purvis. We've seen that so many times today. So patient. Proud nearly got the intercept. Valerie straight over the top from Brooke Lever. Finishes it off. So just called time to get one of the white armbands off the court worn by the Steel girls. And this quarter really has been quite even, Sue.
Yeah, and credit to the Thunderbirds that they've been able to go blow for blow because it was so dominant, 18-12 in that second quarter. And here's another go now for the Thunderbirds. So they just need to chip away at this scoreline. They don't need to do it all at once. There's plenty of time, but you've got to always remember in the back of your head the capacity for Steel to score quickly. One of the best scoring teams in the league, so you don't want to leave that run too late.
We've just been told the Steel girls are wearing the white armbands to pay tribute to the White Ribbon Foundation, Sue. Great cause. Puopolo. So much confidence. Shimon. Back to Burgess. So 2 replacement players on court at the moment for the Adelaide Thunderbirds. So much confidence in their systems below the elite level teams that they can call on these players. Borrego steps across to the side and puts it through. And it's back within 7 as we're halfway through this third term. Thunderbirds need another turnover here, and Shimon tries her best. She falls just short.
And the Thunderbirds just changing up their defensive switch here, so they really are trying. They realise they've got to turn some ball over. Pullman and Shimon just trying to do whatever they can. The mathematics of this game become quite simple, Sarah. Thunderbirds, in order to get back into this, just need to score off every centre pass and make the most of every turnover opportunity.
Well, one person who probably doesn't think it's that simple is Michelle Dendeka. She's with Katie Price.
Michelle, I think we were all hugely surprised to see Erin Bell come off. Talk us through that change.
Yeah,
Yeah, look, I thought we just needed some more variety and more options down in the forward line. We were fairly congested, and I think Steph's brought something new into the game, and she's got great spatial awareness, and she's using it.
Is that what she brings? I mean, she's a replacement player. Tell us a bit more about her.
Yeah, she's a fully contracted player, so she's a permanent player, so she's not a replacement player. And we brought her into the team because she's playing beautifully well. She's a dominant ANL player and has played ANZ before, and she's making a fantastic opportunity for herself out there, so pretty pleased with what she's doing.
She has made a great start. Jade Clark as well, taking her off in that second quarter. Another one, can you talk us through that?
Yeah, we need more ball. We need more first ball pressure, and we wanted to have a look at what Emily can do. She, again, has been training beautifully, and her input's been pretty valuable. So the score hasn't changed with changes, but we're not further down than what we were when we made them.
And that's the positive, isn't it? I mean, you've been able to maintain that that pressure on them, and I suppose it's a case of chipping away now.
It is. I mean, we've had some very bad errors when we didn't need them, a few missed shots when we really needed to convert. So we just need to rectify those little things, and we're back in the game.
Okay, thanks so much, Michelle.
Thank you.
Carla Borrego brings it back within 7 goals. There's 5 minutes to play in this third quarter here at Priceline Stadium. Fowler Reid answers straight back.
Yeah, I just want to add on there to Michelle Dendecker's comments on the changes as Francois picks up that ball. But great to see that she's acknowledged one of the strengths of Popolo being the spatial awareness. Definitely what was needed. Just concerning, though, that the captain in Erin Bell doesn't have the capacity to adjust her game after being told. I just still think, you know, you want your captain on the court. That's what they're there for. Erin Bell brings such strength to this side. And you'd like to think that with a little bit of coaching and adjustment, she could have made that change. You know, we saw it happen when the momentum swinged in the second quarter. Swung, my lord.
Well, it's been a tiring match, sir. It seems to have tired you out. Fowler Reid again, strong on the take. She's not tired. She's doing it easily. All of a sudden, the score is out to a 10-goal lead for the Southern Steel. The Adelaide Thunderbirds need to produce something here. They need to stay within reach. Puopolo straight over the top to Borrego. Good connection. That's good form from the Adelaide Thunderbirds.
Yeah, and this is about the time in which the Steel really started to put their foot down in the second quarter. And we always say that, you know, a side in form is one that makes you pay towards the back end of a quarter, and that's what the Steel are doing, so credit to them. This is where the Thunderbirds are challenged. They were challenged at this same stage against the Mystics last week. How do they respond?
Well, that's an interesting point, because Dendecker said at this point, when they were in a winning position, she wanted her leaders to stand up more, but she's taken the leader off the court. So it goes back to your point earlier.
Well, let's see if Thunderbirds have a new leader.
Shimon, nice take. Finds Pullman by herself. Proud, she's been good this quarter. Puopolo. Oh, Borrego, nice take. Watson threw everything at her. She puts another on the board.
Yeah, so the Thunderbirds really just need to put their foot down here. Must convert. And then put the pressure back on the Steel and try and just close this gap slightly as it heads into the final stages of this third quarter.
Contact goal to 10.
What does the margin need to be for them to stay in touch?
Well, no worse than it is now.
Oh, Carla Borrego helps that.
And probably even a little bit less, because, as I said, you know, the Steel are a side that has the capacity to score quickly, like, oh, I thought that was going to Fowler Reid then. You know, they can just look long and bomb long, and, you know, the percentage of chance of taking it's pretty good.
Well, they're out by 7 with just over 2 minutes to play here in the third term, and there's the lady of the day, Janelle Fowler Reid. Puts through her 42nd goal of the match.
It just creeps up so quickly. It's just extraordinary the way that these shooters in this game can score, and that's not what the Thunderbirds need. You know, those little moments are the ones that hurt, and particularly, as we keep saying, towards the back end. As Borrego smiles.
Threw everything at it. Oh.
Subtraction goal defender.
Crampton.
Subtraction wing defender.
Steps up to the circle edge. Pullman with both shooters in there. She stands out of play.
Obstruction defence.
Oh, miss from Fowler Reid. A rare miss from Fowler Reid. So 43 on the board. Some sides score that for the entire match.
Yeah, I know. And Romelda Aiken was able to score 52 goals against the Swifts 51 last week in the grand final rematch. So just goes to show you how prolific some of these shooters can be. But, you know, this has been a good quarter for the Thunderbirds. Full credit. The changes certainly haven't affected their rhythm. It just hasn't probably increased their opportunities. I think defensively they just need a lot more ball.
Well, they're currently losing this quarter by just 1 goal. They lost the second quarter by 6, so an improvement from the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, and it's also their highest scoring quarter, Sarah. 15 goals. They've shot 12-12 and 14 there. So, you know, it's been their best quarter. So, you know, that change has certainly opened up attack, but now they're going to have to address defensively, and it's not down to Pullman and Shimon. There's more at stake here.
Well, they have one last chance to claw the lead back. Watts, good take under pressure. Oh, Purvis. Read it beautifully. And the Steel will get one last crack at it, but they run out of time. There's 10 goals in it here at three-quarter time of this round 6 match between the Adelaide Thunderbirds and the Southern Steel. Thunderbirds still searching for that first win. Can they fight back in this last term? We'll be back after this with the fourth quarter.
So let's get those big bodies moving off the body so you're confusing the space to where they can see. All right? Keep your eye on tracking the goal attack coming in. So you can track hard outside. At times, wait for the call back. Yep. So contest first ball, high hands pressure, and then at times as the ball's getting closer, you'll hear the call, hedge back, cover that front space, and then if you need to, you can peel off. But wait, make sure you're waiting for the call from behind. All right?
Yep, and it doesn't matter. Let's just not open up ball side. So because we're the same height, whoever's in like behind, come off and take the
I think the key for you is get off the body more.
Okay.
Get off. Make sure you're working the front position.
Yep.
Yep. And even pushing back but not on the body so that she has to throw baseline. She's popping through the front quite a bit. Okay. Shut off that front space.
So she goes over.
So she goes over.
Yeah.
All right.
For the first 3. Yeah.
And we are going to get a tip, and one of you is going to contest in the air.
Yeah.
All right. And that means you need to be in an angle where you
I'll grab one of our NetSec participants here this afternoon. What's your name?
So let's get those big bodies moving off the body so you're confusing the space to where they can see. All right? Keep your eye on tracking the goal attack coming in. So you can track
hard outside.
At times, wait for the call back. Yep. So contest first ball, high hands pressure, and then at times as the ball's getting closer, you'll hear the call, hedge back, cover that front space, and then if you need to, you can peel off. But wait, make sure you're waiting for the call from behind. All right?
Three-quarter time here at Priceline Stadium in South Australia, and there's 10 goals in it. The Southern Steel leading the Adelaide Thunderbirds. Sue Gordian sitting beside me. Sue, three-quarter time stats, what stands out for you?
Yeah, well, the goal attempts, more ball going the way of the Steel, although that can sometimes be a little bit misleading because often it's a rebounded double shot by their shooter. But again, the rebounds for me, Sarah, just been absolutely phenomenal. I am so impressed with both Purvis and Jane Watson. I think that they have grown through this game and they've been giving some critical opportunity to their team.
We saw Den Decker addressing her defensive end then, and she's brought Sarah Clow onto the court in goal defence. We've seen most of her work in goalkeeper this year. She played a full game last week against the Mystics in goalkeeper, and she comes on today in goal defence, and she matches up against Selby Rickett, who comes on in goal attack. So a couple of key changes here for both sides.
Yeah, so Selby Rickett coming on. And as we said, good news for Steel fans to know that she's good to go and the foot's not too bad. Oh, Fowler Reid, how strong was that?
And Jade Clark, they both put their bodies on the line. They're so strong, the netballers these days.
Hey, if you were a betting person, who would you go for, Fowler Reid or Clark?
You're not allowed to bet, Sue, you know that.
No, that's right.
Watts. Not much to go to, so she goes to Clow. Proud, nice cut back onto the circle edge, and Borrego just whips those arms around. Can't quite put it through. Watson will bring it back in for the steal.
So interesting to note, Erin Bell still on the bench for the Thunderbirds, so the reward going to Steph Popolo, and she shot 4 from 5. Just wonder what's going through the head of the captain. That's the last place you want to see yourself, is riding the plank, warming the bench. What other words do we have for it? Gaining splinters.
I'll let you continue with this.
Second best seat in the house.
Anyway, there's a game on our hands, and Janelle Fowler-Reid's back in the action. She puts through her 48th goal. Had a huge impact today. Steph Puopolo finds Borrego. Watts. Borrego just rolls that one in. Second nearly full match for KO Watts. So last week she came on in the opening minutes to replace Emily Beaton. She plays the full match today. How have you seen her growth in the last couple of weeks for the Thunderbirds?
Yeah, good effort there by Sam Pullman, just a little bit late. Look, I'm impressed by Watts. I think she's done a good job today. I just feel that possibly in that first half wasn't given enough space to craft, but her ability to work, her work rate and her effort to get to the position on the circle where she should be is great. I don't think she has any issue with feeding. I think she's got great vision into the circle. The only area I think Watts can really improve is maybe just some of her defensive work down court and creating some opportunities for her team.
There she is on screen. KO Watts came across from the Fever at the end of last season. Down the other end, Jenny Crampton having a great year as well. And Fowler-Reid with the roll-off. Found some beautiful space behind her.
And, you know, the difficult news here for the Thunderbirds is that Selby Rickett and Fowler-Reid have spent more time together so far this season. So they're quite a formidable combination. And all of a sudden the Thunderbirds have got even something more difficult to contend with.
Well, they're down by 13. Puopolo makes it 12. It's an uphill battle from here for the Adelaide Thunderbirds.
Yeah, and interesting. So the tactical move there coming from Clow to drop back on Fowler-Reid, it's a really defensive approach. You're basically saying here, have the first and second ball and we'll see if we can actually contend with the tall bird down the end. I mean, you've got to get up and apply first ball pressure.
Realistically, the turnovers need to come from the midcourt.
Well, the turnovers have got to come from everywhere, and stop expecting your goalkeeper to have to do the work. That feeding ball that's coming in from the steel's been good all game. I don't expect it to change. That's where the pressure needs to be. This is where the pressure needs to be. And again, Crampton gets another feed to circle. Just crazy.
Pullman in the right position, did everything right then, but just couldn't get her hands to it. Selby Rickett finishes off the good work of Janelle Fowler-Reid. Proud, beautiful cut onto the top of the circle. A little give and go with Borrego.
Where you are, shooter.
Had a nice connection, those two today.
Barney's obstruction.
She puts it through.
So just watch again here. We see the Thunderbirds, what sort of pressure. They're trying to change up some of their strategy, but immediately you can see Sarah Clow heading back to the circle. And Selby Ricketts just given a free pass to feed to Fowler Reid. I mean, the pressure's come completely off the steel here.
Selby Ricketts just hobbling down the court. We know she's got a foot problem. She left last week's match early with a calf complaint, and she just looks to be a little bit sore at the moment.
Goal attack.
Purvis.
So, yeah, things going a little from ugly to worse, I think, here for the Thunderbirds. And full credit to the Steel. This is where their coach, Nolene Tarua, would want to make sure they punish. You can see there the biggest win by the Steel over the Thunderbirds, 9 goals back in round 13 in 2009. They are going to smash that today.
Fowler Reid just had Inspector Gadget arms. Couldn't quite pull it in. Borrego does down the other end.
Yeah, 61 goals. Do you think they're going to beat that? I get the feeling that's going to get smashed as well.
I would have thought with over 9 minutes remaining and 4 goals short of it, they're going to smash that here today. Fowler Reid shot 53 of those goals.
Well, I think she's been good, but I think this defence end for the Steel has been really impressive. I think they've just worked hard. They've continued to change up their structures. You know, they're also contending, not necessarily with the same height, but with a very athletic Borrego who has capacity to score, and I think they've done an incredible job.
Jane Watson sits second in intercepts behind Shani Layton. She's had a great year, her best year to date, you'd say.
Yeah, definitely. And the other lady I think is also having a great year is that one there right on screen, Selby Ricketts. She's her move. I mean, obviously we know she's carrying a little bit of an injury at the moment, but certainly her movement for a tall goal attack's been great. Her vision to circle phenomenal, and her ability to finish pretty accurate.
Oh, Purvis.
Contact, goal defender.
Puts a bit of pressure on Maddie Proud.
Edge of circle.
Sends her sailing over the sideline. She's a trooper, Maddie Proud. Not much keeps her down. Here's just a replay of that. Oh!
Yeah, so, again, the access to the circle for the Steel so easy. And just noting now, so Steph Puapolo still sitting on 5 from 6. So the impact that she had in that third quarter now going missing in the fourth. Sometimes when a fresh player comes on, it can have the impact. You just wonder, again, whether the captain should be on the court. This Thunderbird side, they came in today thinking they were absolute red-hot, not favourites, but they had a really good chance of winning this. This is a very, very hard day for them, I think.
Midway through the fourth quarter, down by 13. You'd think you might put Erin Bell back on the court, play her back into the form that you want her in?
Well, she's your captain. I know that doesn't give her a God-given right to be on the court, but I certainly think that that lady there on screen has great capacity in this side, and she is a smart lady. You give her the right cues and she'll do the job. And she you know, the captains, they bring kudos to a side.
Well, Nolene Tarua will be very happy with the Steel's performance today as Fowler Reid just gets easy access to the ball underneath the hoop. Katie Price is with her.
Thanks, Sarah. Well, Nolene, you've got to be happy with this. You're heading towards a record victory against the Thunderbirds, but I'm sure you wouldn't want them to take their foot off.
No, definitely not. You know, even though the scoreline is how it is, it's definitely a big battle, and once again, got utmost respect for Thunderbirds, and knowing that there's still going to be a lot of pressure. We really want a really good performance, a 60-minute performance, so, you know, there's still a bit of time to go.
What does a performance like this mean to this group to come across the Tasman and play like this?
It gives us a lot of self-belief and a lot of confidence in what we're doing. And one of the things is, you know, we've got to be a collective force and a champion team, and for that we need everybody, including the bench, to contribute and participate. And that's one of the things that we do well, so very proud of that.
We spoke earlier about Selby Ricketts. Of course, she had the foot injury coming in. She still looks a little proppy, still walking with a bit of limp. Do you leave her out there? Yeah, we're going to leave her out there. Obviously, she is still a bit ginger. We needed to know how it was going to be looking, and she offers us, I suppose, that ability to be able to put that shot up, and
pull the 2 defenders off. So, you know, she's doing a good job in that respect, but yeah, she's a bit limited in what she's doing outside the circle.
Okay, thanks so much, Nella.
Thank you.
And it must be noted, Sue, that the Southern Steel, this is their first game in Australia for the season. They're unbeaten so far. They've only won on Australian soil once before, which was against the Thunderbirds. It's quite a momentous win for them today. It sets up their season.
I think it's absolutely huge. I don't think we should underestimate how big this is. The stigma of winning across the ditch for a New Zealand side is tough. But at the end of the day, they've now beaten 2 Aussie sides, one over last week against the Fever, this week against the Thunderbirds. This is great confidence. I think this is a well-coached side. They're executing, they're following game plan. They adjust when it's necessary. Defensively, they're growing. Watch out, here come the Steel.
You speak about it being a well-coached side. They won just 3 games last year and already are unbeaten in round 6. Nolene Tarua, first season as coach. What impact has she had? What changes have you seen under her reign?
Well, I read an article this week where she said she wanted to bring a far more hard-nosed approach to the Steel. I think that's what you're looking at. I think they've been able to cope when teams have come back at them, and today we saw that in the second quarter with the Thunderbirds. So I think that's one good thing. The other thing is just trying to bring more than one game plan to a side that has such a big shooter in Fowler Reid, and I think that's critical. You can't just put one player under pressure, and I think that's been fantastic from Tarua. I think she's thoroughly enjoying this opportunity to coach the Steel, and I reckon the Steel fans will be pretty happy.
Well, as we spoke, Wendy Frew just excused herself from the game. She sits down on the bench. Instrumental for this side, Wendy Frew.
Yeah, she's a great captain, very passionate, and she wants victory. I mean, she's hanging around in this game because she would love a bit of silverware on the mantelpiece, and wouldn't it be great to captain a side to it?
Remarkably, she had a child in November last year, and she's returned.
Extraordinary, you know, what some of these women do. Jenny May Coffin, the assistant coach for the Mystics yesterday, she's had twins and brings them across the Tasman. They were up in the makeup room yesterday. Yeah, so it's part and parcel of being a professional or semi-professional female sportswoman or coach, or that's life.
Well, Stacey Peters comes on as wing defence is her replacement. Sam Pullman just picks up the loose ball for the Thunderbirds. They're down by 16. Oh, well done, Francois. Read it beautifully.
And unfortunately for the Thunderbirds, their worst performing quarter is their last quarter, and sadly it's looking that way again. As this goal will go, and it'll take it to an 18-11 quarter. Equal best quarter so far for the Steelers, so they'll beat that.
Kaya Watts pairs up with Stephanie Puopolo. Purvis will stand out of play as Borrego puts through her 39th goal for the match. She's been good.
Yeah, she's been very good. She's shot 39. I guess that's what happens when the goal attacks are struggling to find form. Well, here comes the ball your way, Sarah. Good job, you. Look at that, bottom of screen.
That next to my name?
Yeah, absolutely. Might have to get you in a pink dress.
Wouldn't have thought I'd help their cause.
Yeah, and you can just see things just falling apart at the moment. And I guess that's what's the worrying thing. You know, this scoreline's not going to look great at all for the Thunderbirds, and it deflates the ego for the side. Again, I just wonder whether. And I know Dendeka's in a really tough predicament. I mean, no coach wants to be under the pressure that she's been under from the start of the season, but she keeps talking about rewarding some players that have been in her environment. I just would love to see the strength of her players that have done the job for some time continue to be offered that reward as well.
They've got 6 premiership players sitting in the group. So Erin Bell, Carla Borrego, Emily Beaton, Sam Pullman, Kate Shimon and Kaya Watts all have played in a premiership. So they've got the bones of a strong team.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and he's just got to work on that. I mean, I think, you know, their weakness is defensively. I think that they're probably lacking a couple of marquee players defensively. But in saying that, I'm going to give credit to Pullman. I think she's worked pretty hard. Her job's not easy week in, week out, coming up against the talls. I don't know.
Valerie just rolls that one out, but Selby Rickett there to clean up the work. She doesn't miss from there.
And in saying that, Sarah, I don't want to take anything away from this Steel outfit. They have impressed me. This is the first time I've seen them live this season. We've watched their games on TV. You know, it's one thing to sit back in your couch and cast judgment, be it positive or negative. Sitting here today, this side is the real deal. I wasn't sure at the start of this game. I felt that they would win, but I'm saying they are the real deal. They are a good outfit. They've got great flexibility. I think the depth on their bench is reasonable as well. And again, I say they're well coached.
Well, they're closing in on their first win on Australian soil this year. Their second win against an Australian side. Oh, Borrego too quick for her teammates. They've got time here, the Thunderbirds. She just rocks back and puts that one through. One last chance here for the Thunderbirds. Can they get it down quick enough? Well, that's time on this round 6 match at Priceline Stadium in South Australia, and the Southern Steel with a 15-goal win. They continue their unbeaten run and announce themselves as the team to beat in the New Zealand Conference.
Thank you very much to everyone for coming and supporting your team, the Adelaide Thunderbirds. And thanks also to those who made the journey from New Zealand.
Well, Sue, we spoke pre-match about how important it was to get that first win on Australian soil. They've got it.
Yeah, they
Where
did.
to from here?
Yeah, well, they got it by 15 goals. The biggest win a side in Australia's ever had was 19 goals. That was the Magic back in 2011. So that's a massive, that's a good call, a great win. I think Nolene Tarul mentioned that she was wanting a 60-minute performance. I don't know that they gave her that. I reckon they were about 8 or 9 minutes shy of that, part of which came in that second quarter. But for the best part, they stayed on track. They continued to attack, which was what she asked. And this Thunderbirds huddle wouldn't be the best place to be. And good old Erin Bell, the captain, she's the one that's got to give the message. And, you know, she's had a tough day at the office today.
A lady we didn't speak a whole heap about, but is so influential in the Steel side, is Shannon Francois. She really steadies the ship for them.
I think she had a good game today. She was solid. And often when we don't talk about a player, that's actually good news. You know, they're not necessarily doing anything wrong. They might not be doing anything showy. And I think Francois was one of those today. And she is a very, very, very healthy prospect for the Silver Ferns' future.
Well, Katie Price is standing on court with Francois as we speak.
I certainly am. Thanks. Shannon, what does a performance like that mean? Because not only did you beat them, but you really obliterated them.
I think it was a full game performance. It didn't feel like it was a blowout. It was just kind of a few goals every quarter, and it ended up at the end. But yeah, it was a full team performance. I think all the girls out there performed really well, and yeah, it's awesome.
In the context of the season, to come across here to Australia, that was the one question mark, wasn't it? I mean, you've answered that now. What does that mean for the rest of your season?
Yeah, I think it's quite good to kind of tick that off. There's always something looming over you, and all the media kind of talk it up. And yeah, it's good that we can get that off our back and just continue with our season heading forward.
And your coach, Nolene, what has she brought to this group? Because everyone talks about the hard-nosed edge.
Yes, trainings are definitely very tough, and I think she's toughened us up a lot. But yeah, she just has such enthusiasm and love for the game. It's just so contagious, and yeah, I think it's really just fired the girls up.
Congratulations, massive win.
Thank you very much.
Great to hear from Shannon Francois there. And Sue, both sides go into the bye now this week, and is it good timing for the Thunderbirds? Is it bad timing? Is it good timing for the Steel? How do you see where the bye fits in for both these sides?
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? I mean, you don't get a choice of when you buy, so you just have to make the most of it. I think for the Thunderbirds, it's probably a good time. I think they might need some regrouping after today. As we said, they would have notched this down as a great chance to win the game. So they might need to just find a little bit of confidence amongst the group. As for the Steel, I don't know that this will affect their momentum. I think they're in good form, and I think they'll welcome the bye. As we know, Selby Rickett's got that slight injury, so she'll maximise time to alleviate some of that pressure on her foot, and I think the Steel will come out of the bye probably even better.
Well, Maddie Proud tried her heart out today. She's the centre from the Adelaide Thunderbirds, and Katie Price is with her now.
Thanks, Sarah. She certainly did try your heart out. Maddie, loss like that, really hard to take. I know you were really confident coming in.
Yeah, obviously disappointing. I mean, we definitely showed some good signs, but once again just weren't able to string it together for a full 60 minutes. So, yeah, very disappointing, but have to move on and try and do better next week.
Were you surprised as us to see Erin Bell, your captain, sitting on the bench for that second half?
Oh, it's always hard when you see someone come off. I thought Steph Popolo came on really well, her first performance out here this year. So, obviously, yeah, really disappointed for Erin, but Steph did really well. So
we just saw Erin then talking to the group. She had you all in a tight huddle. What did she say?
Oh, it was obviously just about, taking the positives out of the game and, thanking our fans for being here. And then obviously come Monday, we go to the drawing board and start again for next week. So it's just about, parking this and we'll address it after the game. But, yeah, trying to move on for next week.
I don't want to harp on it, but how will she respond as a captain, as a leader?
Oh, Erin's one of the toughest people I know. She's a great captain, she's a great leader and she's a great player. So I don't think today will affect her in any way. It will make her just come back stronger, and she's all about the team and she just wants the team to do well. So I'm sure she'll be great next week.
And you've got the bye coming up. Is that a good time? Then you've got Firebirds.
Yeah. I think definitely it's going to be good to kind of go away for a week and kind of work on what we need to in the training track, and then have a week off and hopefully come back firing against the Firebirds. It's obviously going to be a tough challenge again.
Maddie, thank you so much for fronting up, answering the questions.
No worries. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Great work there from Maddie Proud. So impressive for a youngster. Future captain written all over her.
Yeah, well, she got pushed to that interview, didn't she? So I pay complete credit to Maddie Proud there. Spoke brilliantly. Very, very favourable of her captain, Erin Bell. That is a tough predicament, a tough chat. And then sadly for the Thunderbirds, whilst it's a bye, it doesn't get any better. They play the Firebirds. Absolute hot favourites for this year's championship after the break.
One of the toughest asks in the ANZ championship at the moment, the Queensland Firebirds, and they lost it today by 15. The Southern Steel, the victors here at Priceline Stadium in round 6. Don't go anywhere. We'll Welcome to the ANZ post-match here, round 6 at Priceline Stadium, and the Southern Steel just too good for the Adelaide Thunderbirds. 15 goals in the end, and they've just proved they're the team to beat in the competition.
Yeah, they are one of the teams to beat in the competition. Certainly, absolutely nailing it from a New Zealand perspective. The full-time stats very favourable. Attempts at goal 85 to the Thunderbirds 69. That was a very telltale. And while the 81% sits a little bit low for the Steel, their capacity to rebound, look underneath that, 17 rebounds to 6. That is a stat that goes in combination together and is a winning stat for teams.
And we speak a lot about their attacking end and how potent they are, but across the court, their defenders were so influential, their mid-court as well.
Yeah, a full team effort for the Steel today, and I think they would have come across the ditch knowing very well that it was going to take all 7 players on court to do the job. I was really impressed, and I kept mentioning it, and I'll say it again, how good Watson and Purvis were. Came up with some really critical rebounds. Wendy Frew, captain, played a good job. Crampton, I thought, in and out of the game, but when she was good, she was on fire. Francois was steady through the game, and that lady there, well, she just doesn't get any worse. She gets better week in, week out. Unbelievable, Valerie.
Well, she was unbelievable today. 60 goals to her name, and that's why she's been named the ANZ Most Valuable Player. Janelle, thanks so much for joining us in post-match.
My pleasure.
60 goals. Are you getting better every week?
I'd like to think so. I'm training hard every session and I'm putting in the work, so I'd like to think I'm making progress.
Today you had Brooke Lever out the front. We were a little surprised. We were unaware of the injury to Selby Rickett. How does it affect your game relative to who's out the front?
Honestly, it doesn't affect my game at all because I've been playing with both of them in training. So I know them differently and I can adapt easily to them, so it's all good.
And tell me this, Steel looking very promising. I guess when you originally came to the ANZ Championship, it was all about, you know, making an impact. You're now with a club that looks almost one of the favourites for the championship this year. Exciting times.
Yes, honestly, my team and myself, we have been putting in the work. So we have worked hard for where we are now and we're very pleased, thank God. So yeah, we're deserving, I think.
A lot of talk from players throughout the group about Nolene Tarua and the effect that she's had and the standards that she's driving at training. Have you really noticed that this season since she's come on board?
Definitely. She's an awesome coach. You know, I'd like to say she's very charismatic. We can all approach her and she's just awesome. That sums it up for her, yeah.
And talk to us about your mid-quarters, Francois and Crampton. Sometimes fly under the radar because you're doing such great work in the goal shooter position. How valuable are they?
Honestly, they're like some little pocket rockets. They're so fast, and as you say, they're really dynamic, and they make me look good, I have to say, because the work they put out in front is just so awesome, and, you know, I just have to convert that shot when they bring it up to make them pleased with what they're doing.
Well, I'm pretty confident that you're making them look good as well. Thank you so much for your time today and congratulations on being named ANZ MVP for the match.
Thank you.
Let's cross down courtside to Katie Price, who's joined by Erin Bell.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Well, Erin, a very tough afternoon. We were very surprised to see you in that second half on the bench. What was the feedback from Michelle? What was the reason why?
I think I just needed to be more definite and I wasn't... doing my job. So I think Steph came on and did a really good job in that third quarter. The attack end was flowing really well and the ball was moving really well. So I think the change was effective for that third quarter. But then in the fourth quarter we froze up again like we did last week. So it's just really unfortunate that we can't finish out games.
Sue Gordian spoke in commentary and said it's always important to have the captain on court, almost no matter what. How do you feel about that?
Oh, look, I think you have to be playing well and doing your job as well. And, you know, I was yelling my guts out on the sideline trying to lift the girls from where I was. And, you know, I have to respect Michelle's decision and just make sure that I'm working on my game and improving for next week.
Yeah, did you see you yelling and screaming? How do you keep the group's heads up then, I suppose, heading into a bye and then you've got the Firebirds coming up?
Yeah, look, I think the bye is actually coming at a good time for us. We have had a pretty tough start to the season and it'll be a really good chance for us to just regroup and have a little bit of time for ourselves. And then obviously we've got the Firebirds, who tough competitors again, but in saying that, we did have one of our best games against them early in the season. So we'll be looking forward to making sure that we can rectify a few things and, yeah, like kind of treat it like the start of a new season.
Okay, thank you so much, Erin. We really do appreciate you coming on to answer those questions.
No worries, thanks.
Great stuff there from Erin Bell joining us in the post-match. It ended up being a 15-goal loss to the Adelaide Thunderbirds. They've got the Firebirds next Where do they go from here, Sue?
Well, they're going to have to increase that shooting load. At the end of the day, 54 goals isn't necessarily winning games this year, and in years gone past it might have, but with some of the rule changes and the way momentum is now, you're almost having to shoot in the high 50s and 60s will win you a game. So you've heard Erin Bell. I'd say they're humble words coming from Erin Bell, but in saying that, you know what, they've got the break, they move on and come back and see where they're at against the Firebirds.
Well, let's have a look at the remaining matches, and the Tactics host the Vixens over in New Zealand. What do you see coming out of that result?
Yeah, I think that'll be a really tough game. I don't think that necessarily the Vixens will have it all their way. I'm impressed with what the Tactics are doing, as am I with where the Fever are at. They've had a tough run against the Steel, but I think they'll be too good for the matching, and that'll be another Aussie win for the Fever.
Well, Sue, a great win from the Southern Steel today. 15 goals here on Australian soil. Before we leave, your last comment about what the Steel outfit looks like going forward.
Yeah, good. Very impressive. Don't know that they'll beat the Firebirds, but we'll see them in the finals, and I think they can really indent some of these Aussie sides going forward for the rest of the season.
Well, they continue their unbeaten run and they secure their first win on Australian soil. The Southern Steel 15-goal winners.